corridor in Vrindavan, improved facilities. What is Shri Banke Bihari Temple Trust Bill? Shri Banke Bihari Temple Trust Bill, 2025, was presented and passed in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly on Wednesday, the third day of monsoon session. The legislation promises improved facilities, streamlined crowd management, and greater official transparency, while assuring that centuries-old rituals remain untouched. The bill also proposes the creation of a Banke Bihari corridor to manage the overwhelming crowds at the revered temple. The bill seeks to establish a statutory trust with full administrative authority over the temple's assets, vices, crowd management, and facilities, while pledging to preserve the shrine's centuries-old traditions. Interestingly, the bill was tabled despite the Supreme Court recently staying a similar orders issued on May 26 this year, which aimed to bring the temple under a newly created trust. On August 8, the Apex Court set up an interim 14-member committee, headed by retired Allahabad High Court Judge Justice Ashok Kumar, to oversee the temple's day-to-day affairs until the Allahabad High Court decides on the orders' validity. The government has cited the August 2022 stampede at the temple, in which 2 devotees died and 7 were injured, as a major reason for introducing the bill. The shrine occupies around 870 square meters, with only 365 square meters functioning as the viewing courtyard. Narrow access routes to the temple, combined with lakhs of devotees arriving annually, especially during festivals, create acute congestion. The 2022 tragedy, the government's statement says, exposed the urgent need for efficient crowd control, safer facilities, and regulated darshan arrangements. The bill also ties into the state's vision for a Banke Bihari corridor, modeled on Varanasi's Kashi Vishwanath corridor, to ease access and improve infrastructure for pilgrims. The corridor plan has been embroiled in legal disputes. After the Kashi Vishwanath project's inauguration in February 2022, the Adityanath government shifted its focus to Vrindavan's most famous shrine. It proposed using temple funds to acquire 5 acres of surrounding land for the corridor, prompting opposition from the temple's Goswami priest community. The Allahabad High Court barred the use of temple funds for the project. In May this year, the Supreme Court overruled the High Court, allowing the funds to be used, after which the state issued the May 26 orders creating the trust. But following a review petition from the Goswamis, the court modified its earlier order, deleting the part that permitted use of temple funds and acknowledging it had erred by not hearing the priest community. This led to the stay on the orders earlier this month. The bill proposes the formation of the Shri Banke Bihari Ji Temple Trust as the custodian of all movable and immovable assets of the shrine, including idols, ornaments, jewelry, cash, checks, drafts, hundi collections, gifts, grants, contributions, and properties. It grants the trust powers to set darshan timings, appoint priests and staff, determine their salaries, ensure the safety of devotees, and maintain official transparency through proper record-keeping. The trust would also be empowered to acquire movable or immovable property worth up to 20 rupees lakh without state approval, with larger purchases requiring government sanction. It would be authorized to resolve disputes over claims to the deity, temple, or associated lands. According to the bill, the Shri Banke Bihari Temple Trust will have 18 members, 11 nominated and 7 ex officio. All nominated members must be Sanatani Hindus, including 3 eminent representatives from Vaishnav sects, 3 from other Sanatan Dharma traditions, 3 distinguished individuals such as scholars or social workers, and 2 Goswami tradition representatives, 1 each from the Raibhog and Shayanbog Savayats, descendants of the temple's 16th century founder, Swami Haridas Ji. Ex officio members will include the district magistrate, senior superintendent of police, municipal commissioner, CEOs of the Raj Tirth Kshetra Vikas Parishad and the trust, and a state government nominee. If any ex officio nominee is non-Hindu or not aligned with Sanatan Dharma, a junior officer will replace them. The trust CEO will hold ADM rank, and trustees will not be personally liable for decisions made in good faith. The bill also promises provisions for improved facilities for devotees, including prasad distribution centers, dedicated darshan paths for the elderly and persons with disabilities, drinking water stations, resting benches, queue and access management kiosks, cow shelters, an Anakshitra community kitchen, hotels, inns, exhibition halls, canteens, and waiting rooms. These, the government says, will provide world-class amenities without disrupting religious practices. It has assured that all rituals, festivals, customs, and traditions of the temple will continue without change. Swipe left for next video. Politically, the move has sparked debate, as the BJP, now championing the bill, has historically opposed government interference in temple administration. The Goswami priest community fears the trust could dilute their traditional control over the shrine's affairs. The government, however, insists that the trust will be an autonomous body designed to preserve and formalize existing traditions while ensuring official transparency and accountability. The purpose of the trust is not to take over assets or properties of the temple. Instead, it is to merely ensure that official transparency is maintained, the official statement clarified. Though the Assembly has passed the bill, its implementation remains stalled due to ongoing court proceedings. Until the Supreme Court stay is lifted and the legal questions resolved, the trust will remain on paper only, with the interim committee continuing to manage th.